everybody. It's 4 already. I will try to make it as painless as I can. So I am Stratoula, as you heard. The last I'm a Kibana software engineer. This is important information. But the last 2 years, I'm working quite closely with the Elasticsearch team to bring our new language to the stack. So if you don't know what is ESQL, is our kind of new piped language, which is quite awesome because you can do a lot of things from one query. So you can run aggregations, you can filter your data, you can enrich your data from other data sets. It is quite cool. The main characteristic and what I want you to remember for ESQL is that it is built from scratch. We're talking about a kind of new engine. It is not built upon Search API, which for us is huge because it is going to help us to bring some features at Elasticsearch that the Search API can't for technical limitations. Which is the main advantage, or at least which is the thing that I like the most, is the fact that I have already said, that you can do a lot of things only from one query. So as you know, these are some of the things that you can do right with Elasticsearch and Kibana. Some of them are easy, like KQL. It's not because it is a Kibana language, but it is quite easy in comparison with painless, right, which is not painless at all. But the main point is that if you really want to do something advanced, you really need to transition between different languages, different APIs, even different applications at Kibana. And this can be quite frustrating. So what the SQL is going to do is going to allow you to run a lot of things with the same query using this piped command syntax. So this is my effort to explain what a piped language is. You maybe already know. So a piped language is, of course, a language that is composed from a series of commands that they are chained together with pipes. And I think the schema below explains exactly how it works. So imagine that you have a very small data set, 3 columns, 4 documents, and you are passing them from the limit command. As the name indicates, it's going to keep only the first 3 rows. And then you are using eval, which is the command that you can create runtime fields, and now a new column, a new field has been created, so now my table has changed. And if you want to see it on a real case example, if you check the box on the left, what I'm doing here, what I want to do actually is I want to do something simple. I want to create a date histogram. So I'm using the from command, which I'm actually indicating which is my data source, and then I'm using eval. I'm creating a new field, a new variable, the buckets. I'm storing there the result of the date trunc function. So the date trunc function is allowing me to create a time bucket with the interval I want. And this scenario is 5 seconds. And then I'm running a stats command, which is the aggregations command, a very important one, that I'm applying a count, and I'm grouping by the buckets. And the result here on the right is a discover screenshot. And you can see that how my table has changed. I'm starting with logs, which has thousands of columns. I'm creating the buckets, thousands plus 1. And then with the stats, I'm actually keeping only the columns that take part of the aggregation. So now my table is a 2-columns table. And the visualization above is a line histogram, which is what I can build in Discover. Current status, except from stats and eval, a very important command is the where. I'm going to show you some things in a while about where. Enrich, which is the way that you have right now to enrich your data set with data from other data sets. We are going to make it better. Joins are coming. And many more others that we're going to see possibly in a while. So, Kibana. The best experience of ESQL is in Discover. I really recommend you to try Discover and play with ESQL. But you can also create an ESQL visualization using ESQL from a dashboard. You can create alerts and rules from from wherever, and our AI assistants can translate natural language to ESQL, and more applications are adding ESQL to the flow. So far, so good. Let's go to the demo in order to see how it works. Some of you might be already familiar, but I think it's good to understand how it works right now. So here is my observability project. Right here is, I am in 8.16. This is Discover as you know it, right? And if you want to try ESQL, you just need to click the button here. So what you see here, I'm going to remove the limit 10. It's kind of the same screen that we saw before, but the main difference is that now, of course, it had to log me out now. So, but what you see is that it has exactly the histogram, the table, and the field list, but the KQL bar and the filter builder is the one that you click the plus and you create filters, is missing. Why? Because you can do all these things with ESQL. So I have saved some queries just for the demo. I will start with the first one. So I hope you can see. I will make it a little bit. I will zoom in a little bit. OK, so from logs, I have this column, the log.level. The log.level column stores information about the status of my logs. If it is an information, if it is a warning, if it is an error, blah, blah, blah. So with the where command here, I'm actually saying I want all the logs that has this information because I really, really want this to work on this field. And then I'm using the keep command that I'm actually saying, you know, for this exploration, I'm going to use only the log level and the service name. And you can see the table below, right? You can see that I have these two columns. So what I want to do is I want to run an aggregation and group my data by this log level. The problem with this log level is that it has very sparse data. And sometimes it can be info, and sometimes it is information, sometimes it is warn, sometimes it is warning. I want to group them with something that makes more sense to me. So what I'm doing is that I'm creating a new variable, the log underscore level. I'm using the case. So the case is our condition function, is our if-else function, and what I'm saying is that if it starts from info, it is information. If it starts from warn, it is warning, blah, blah. And you can see that I have 4 columns, right? I have 4 values that I care about. Information, warning, errors, and everything else, I don't care, right? Add it on the other bucket. So, and you can see here the new column, right? So I think we're ready to run our aggregation. Nice. So, so what I'm doing here, right? I'm taking the distinct count of the service name, and I'm grouping by 2 fields, the service name and the log level, and I'm sorting on descending order. And you can see here, right, the grouping that I care about. So the other thing that you can see, and this is unique in Discover ESQL mode, is that Discover is suggesting a visualization to you, right? So we say, OK, you have these 3 columns, and we think that the bar chart, the stacked bar chart, is the perfect visualization for you. You don't like it, you disagree, you can always change it by clicking the pencil button here. So this is going to open this inline editing flyout, which is pretty cool. Mostly because I developed that. So you can actually, so for example, if you want to swap things right here, you can do this with Shift, I think, yeah. So let's say that this is the visualization I want. You can save it and change colors, right? You can do whatever you want to do in Lens. So that's it about what we have so far. I mean, I want a lot of time to show you everything. Some things before I move to my presentation. One thing that got added from on 8.15, I think, it's this query history. So you can actually have a history of the commands that you ran before. So you can see how I went back to my first step. Another thing that I also like, and it got added in 8.16, is the recommended query. So you can see here that we are recommending some things. At this point is basic recommendations, but they're quite cool, right? I mean, instead of trying to read the documentation, we have some things for you as a starters. We're going to make it more and more smarter, right? We're going to understand the schema of your data set, and we're going to recommend things that are a little bit more meaningful. But it is the beginning. So, and last but not least, talking about documentation, you can always find the documentation here on this flyout. And here is, a list of the things that you can do. So, these are the things that we have right now, and I'm going back to my presentation to talk about what is coming, which possibly is a little bit more interesting. Full text search. So it's already merged, 8.17 tech preview. You are going to see the first two functions, the match and the QSTR. So the match is, has the syntax, as you can see, right? You can see the field and the wildcard, while QSTR is, as I say, the Lucene one, right? You can write, this is Lucene, the Lucene filtering. So, so all the capabilities that you have with the Search API are actually coming to ESQL, which is fantastic, and we're going to add more and more things. And this one, which is really, really exciting, at least for me that I am a Kibana engineer, is that in 8.18, this KQL function is going to be merged, which means that ESQL natively is going to support KQL, which is fantastic. So I think I have a demo. I do have a demo. I'm going to switch now to my 8.18. I think it's 8.18. So what you can see here, I hope, is this movies index, right? I have this. It has various fields. I have, this title, these actors, and what I want to do is I want to find the Harry Potter movie that has the highest IMDb rating. I mean, we know which one is, but let's see if Elasticsearch agrees with me. So I have saved the commands now, the queries, but they are not at the same place. They are on this starred tab, which accompanies the history component. This is an 8.17 feature, so which is quite cool, because I actually can save queries, and I can find these queries everywhere that the editor exists, right? So I'm going to run this one. So what I'm saying, right, I'm using the match command, and I say, bring me all the titles, all the movies that have Harry in the title, which of course is going to bring the Harry Potter movies and many more that I don't care about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I really need Harry Potter in the title. And here it is going to bring me all the Harry Potter movies. And of course I can use one match here, but this is not the point. I wanted to show you that you can combine two match queries together. But it's not only that, you can actually do something more sophisticated, which is here. So what I'm doing here, right, so you can see that I am saying, and floor IMDb rating greater than 7. I have actually run an expression here, right? Floor is a function. And this is why match is a beautiful command, because you can do full text search and combine it with other search capabilities and run functions, and many more things are coming. So moving to, I don't have a lot of time, I feel it. So let's go to the aggregations filtering. So this is a very nice feature, mostly because you can run different filtering per aggregation. So here I have two averages, but I'm applying a different where filter to each one of them. This was a quite popular ask, especially from the Kibana engineers, and I have a query to show you how it works. I start. Here it is. So let me close that. Let's see what we have here. So, sorry. Okay, let's run it. So what I have here is this awards field. As you can see, it has all the awards that each movie has won. And what I want is, what I'm doing, right, is I'm applying a grok, and I'm creating 3 more fields, Oscars, wins, and nominations, and I'm extracting the numbers, right, of the nominations for these fields, and then I can use it, actually, because I can use it like that. First of all, let's exclude the movies that they don't have Oscars. I don't care about them. And then you can see that if I remove the comment and run it, so you can see here, right, what I'm doing. So I'm creating two aggregations, the average of IMDb rating. First of all, when the Oscars, for movies that they won less than 5 Oscars and more than 5 Oscars. So you can see how I actually filtered my aggregations with a different filter. And you can see the result here and this beautiful visualization that Lens has suggested. So, yeah, so that's it about the aggregation filtering, and I'm moving on to named parameters. So what is it? So, as you can see here, and I hope it is visible, but if you see these bold red things, right, with the question mark, these are not fields or functions, right? They are variables. In Elasticsearch calls them named parameters. At Kibana, we're calling them variables, but it doesn't matter, right? It's because it's a very cool feature, and then we are going to use it at Kibana. So, and I'm giving the values here, right? You can see, so actually the function is average, the field is network bytes, blah, blah. So this is an 8.16 feature. And you're going to tell me, okay, why are you so excited about it? Why don't you add the values immediately in the query? So we, of course, if you know what you want to do and you're exploring your data, you don't need to do something like that. But we're going to take advantage of this feature in order to give this amazing functionality, which I really think that is missing from the dashboards, which is the dashboard variables. So imagine that you are on a dashboard, and you want to create a histogram, but you want to give to your users or to your dashboard in general the ability to change this interval. You don't want this to be a static value. You want the user to be able to change the interval and see how the visualization changes. So you are starting to write here your query, right? And you are using this bucket function that accepts intervals. And instead of giving a custom, a static interval, you're actually saying, okay, do you know something? I want this dynamic. I'm going to create a control. So a control is created like that, right? You add the custom values that you want. You can add whatever you want. And voila, you have created this awesome visualization with a control that you can change. And you can't do it only with intervals. You can do it with aggregations, right? Imagine that you want to see how your visualization changes for different percentiles, for example, or different aggregations, different fields, different values. So it is coming. And last but not least, joins, lookup, inline stats. So, as you know, and as I said before, right now if you want to enrich your dataset with fields from other datasets, you have to use the enrich command. The enrich command is cool. The problem is that you have to create an enrich policy, so it is not so convenient, and maybe not so sexy, right? I mean, joins are so much easier. So how it is going to look like, and they told me not to promise a version, but I think it's going to come on 8.18, at least, you know, a first prototype, but don't tell them that I told you. So it's going to look like that, right? So you can see I have my employees, and then I'm doing this lookup join, or inner join, or a left join, or right join, and I'm using this other index to retrieve information and pull them into my visualization, into my query, I'm so sorry, to my dataset. So I have a small demo about that, and this is the last demo of the day. So here it is, my employees. You can see some fields here, right? The most important one is the language. So you can say, don't really have the language per employee. I have this ID, who means nothing. And I have this table, the languages table, which has this, the association. And I want to see, actually, I want to retrieve the language here and bring it to my previous exploration. So here you can see that I run, it is somewhere here. Yeah, lookup join, right? Lookup join. And then I'm keeping things, and then I can run aggregations, right? I can do whatever I want, because now my table is enhanced with the fields from the other data set. And here it is, right? So this is it. Yeah, this is it. Another thing that is going to come and is very connected with joins is inline stats. So as I said, the stats command brings you only the columns that take part in the aggregation. The inline stats is going to bring you the aggregated columns, but also everything else that you had. So it does a lookup. More things, and this is my last slide, I promise. So start queries, you already saw it, right? More recommended queries, as I said, the smarter ones. ESQL is going to work with, Lens is going to work with ESQL in the background. We think that is going to give more performance charts, because performance is really important for ESQL. TSDB supports CCSGA and possibly many other things that I haven't mentioned. So this is it.